Hello, and welcome to The Green Card with me, Katie Green. This week's guest is the very talented Luke Chilton. He is a comedian. He does stand-up in English and Spanish, and he's absolutely hilarious. Very good friend of mine, and I hope you enjoy. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe. Mainly subscribe, and thank you. I learned that on this podcast.
Do you know how to do that?
No, I don't.
Well, you're just saying off camera. I don't know how to fucking sync audio. I started this podcast just to hang out with people. Is anything even recorded?
Yeah, no, nothing's recording. This is all fake cameras.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, it's great to hang out.
Yeah, this is a fun.
I'm having a fun time.
Yeah, this is a child's recording.
Yeah, I thought the Fisher Price tag.
So I am currently trying to work on my vocabulary because I swear a lot. Yeah. And I also, I feel like that just makes you sound smarter when you're like, oop, boop, fancy word.
What, instead of swearing?
No, it's, you know that Will Smith quote?
No.
Like where he says he doesn't swear because, look up the Will Smith.
Clearly made a huge impact on you.
It was so impactful.
Remember that thing Will Smith said?
Before
Bad boys for life.
Yes, that is the one. But he just says that like increasing your vocabulary is it's really good. It's a really good quote.
I read something somewhere. Maybe I made it up. I don't know because I can't think of where I read it. But apparently, smart people swear more. Fuck, shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I fucking heard.
Don't you hate when you forget the source?
Yeah, I forget. I forget everything important.
So I'm trying to string because I've obviously named it The Green Card, right?
Yeah.
Basically, I moved over here, but I feel like my whole life was like working on something, and I thought that as soon as I got the visa, then my life would be fine, and I'd be like, oh, I'll be dating.
Oh.
After, like, I'll get the visa and then I'll have dinners.
Yeah, that's also one of the first things I ask anyone I date. Like,
yeah.
What's your visa situation?
Yeah, what's your immigration status?
I'm like, sorry,
I'm single. I started stand-up before, like, the first time I went on stage.
Yeah.
It was before I had sex.
Whoa, that's
it's wrong. It's so wrong.
Yeah.
So I would be listening at these open mics, and I'd hear guys talking about sex and what girls do wrong and and I'd be like, oh no. Like one guy had this joke and he'd be like, I hate when girls give me hand jobs. You don't like, come on, you don't think I know? I have my own hands. Like that was the joke. Like I have my own hands. I know my hands know my dick way better than you do. We just met. Like, and then so I would never give anyone hand jobs.
Oh, this guy fucked everyone. What's wrong with a good hand job?
Well,
this guy needs to stop. I don't know. This guy needs to stop fucking complaining about getting a hand job. Everyone likes a hand job.
Yeah, so that really ruined me.
Really?
I was like, oh my god.
So sex for you is just like a big panicky.
It's a panic. It's so anxiety. I get so anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I also liked him forever, obviously, because I'd go to church and God said to me, maybe.
Yeah.
We didn't say that, but
yeah, you heard that.
Christ has risen, so Christ will come again.
Ooh.
And I thought that was referring to him. Ooh. He'll come again.
Oh, it's all a metaphor.
Yeah, it's all a metaphor.
I was talking to someone else who's religious, another comic. Is church like a really horny place? Because he got horny, is what he told me.
No, because I was never a horny person.
You're not?
I mean, well, I've stopped taking birth control, so I am now, and I'm like, oh, this must be what it feels like to like.
Oh, so you think birth control make you not horny?
Well, I think there was a mixture of things. I was really insecure.
Yeah.
So I would naturally like not be like, yay.
Yeah.
But like after I lost my virginity, I had sex with another person. And then maybe one other person, but like very, very briefly, like I was like, no, I'm not into this.
Yeah.
And after that, I was celibate for 3 years.
Wow.
And that was in college.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's like a.
Yeah.
People be getting it on.
Yeah, and I was like in my prime.
Yeah.
I had the most confidence that I've ever had, but I was like, no, I'm.
Oh my God, did that drive everyone else mad? Because they're like, she's celibate. I want to be the one to lure her to. Not
really. I think people were like, that's weird.
Really?
It wasn't like a. People are like, why haven't? And I also had like no sexual experience. I had like very limited amount of like sex, probably a total of 5 times before I went celibate.
Yeah.
So just not that exciting.
I feel like sex can be exciting even if it's like, cause it's like a dynamic, right? It's not like you're not like good or bad at sex unless you're very good with people. Do you know what I mean?
I'm getting graded for this, or I'm being evaluated.
Oh yeah, that is bad.
I've never gone into sex being like, this is meant to be enjoyable. Whoa. Like I've always been like, oh, this is something where I feel like I always feel like people have an expectation of me.
Like you're being judged in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that ties in with like God watching you.
Maybe.
You're Catholic as well, aren't you guys all supposed to be guilt-ridden?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Guilt's not a good.
Guilt's not good. No.
Sexy vibe.
Yeah, but I think it's just insecurity though.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'd always be really insecure.
Yeah. Insecurity is a funny one because I have some friends who are like really insecure and they're like hypersexual. But like, I don't think they enjoy sex.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like sex is more like a validation thing, or like, if they're fucking me, it must mean they like me.
Right.
Or I'm better. But it's like they could never come from sex. Like, I don't think they actually are in the moment. Like, this is nice. It's like what you're saying is like going through their head is like, oh, I hope they like. It's almost too much what the other person thinks.
Right.
It's like. I know sex is weird because I kind of feel like you need a bit of selfishness for it to be
good.
Really, good. And like you kind of give each other the space to be selfish, right?
Yeah, I also think trust is so important.
Yeah,
I had like one guy where I was like, this is gonna be my sexual liberation, and so
then you're in the toilet like, oh my God, I'm sorry, God, no hands.
So, like. We were hooking up, and then like he basically thought I was a virgin because of how I was acting, and I was like, no, I've had sex before. Yeah. And he was like, well, no, like he's like you like, and I was like, like I'm like, also like when a woman is stressed, or like when it's like when she's like uncomfortable, the vagina like tenses up.
Oh yeah.
So it's like he was like you're just like so tight.
Yeah.
You obviously a virgin.
Fanny says no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fanny means butthole to you, right?
No, well, yeah, it does actually.
Okay,
yeah.
Pussy says no.
Both Fanny.
Fanny also says no.
Both Fannies say no.
There was this one time where there was this girl I met, and she was like, yeah, come back to my house. And I was like, cool. And she was like quite forward. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I'll come back to your house. And then on the way back, she was like acting really anxious and like nervous. And I was like, oh, what's wrong? And then she was like, oh, we're going to have sex when we go back. And I was like, well, like, not if you don't want to, like, only if you want to.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I'd like to, but like, whatever, like, you're in the driver's seat, whatever. And she was like, yeah, I've not had sex in like a really, really long time. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, we can take it slow or whatever. And then she was like, okay, I just want you to do all the work. And then I remember it being so intense because it was like every little thing I did, she perceived as like me going off her. So it's like she took her top off, and then she was like, and I was like, I said something like, oh, like your tits are amazing or something like that. Like, trying to like be like, yeah, you were really pretty. Like, and then she was like, did you just say I was disgusting? And I was like, no. And then like, because there was all this pressure, it's like I was finding it so hard to get hard because I was like, oh my God, I've got to show this girl the best time of her life. Yeah. Otherwise, she's just going to think sex sucks. And then her sex life is never going to revive. But then there was so much pressure to be like, to make it good for her.
Oh, wow.
And then eventually I was just like, oh, I just need a minute. And like, we managed to like finally get down to it. And it was like, it was fine or whatever. But I was like, Jesus Christ, this is like so scary.
Yeah,
like,
that is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What happened?
What do you mean afterwards?
Like, yeah, did you guys?
We just went our separate ways. It was like we had like a nice text exchange or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, and she was like, thanks for a nice time, whatever. I might try sex again. I was like, cool.
Yeah, we win.
But I was like, I felt bad because I was like, I can't go back. Like, there's too much like
pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and like
insane.
I had to pretend to come myself.
Oh,
and
you
like,
did?
Yeah, I couldn't come under that like pressure. So
wow.
and I had to do a real like, oh, this is what a great
she was like, where's the cum?
Oh no, but you can't really tell.
Oh,
I was
guess
like using a
that's
condom
true.
as well.
Okay.
So it was just like, quick,
Gotta
like,
go!
throw that away, like amazing. Oh, I came everywhere. Biggest orgasm of my life.
Oh wow.
But have you ever had it have you had sex with someone you like really, really like?
Yeah, but then the only person that I've had sex with that I really, really like is also somebody who I knew was seeking other women.
Right. Yeah,
so sex with him was more so like, a
way to keep him.
It was a way. It was a validating thing of like, oh well, he chooses me today.
Okay.
And it was also like a thing of like, it's like having sex with him. I would literally be thinking of like how many other girls he has sex with, or like.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Your sex life is tough.
It's not fun. It's like not like, I feel like it's a waste of I've got a waste of a vagina. Like absolutely.
You're only 29.
Yeah. Well,
I mean 26.
Yeah, there we go.
You're only 16.
I
read another thing the other day. Apparently, middle-aged people have the best sex. Self-reported. Because they abandon all the
all the
self
insecurities.
It all goes, and then they like dick down when they're old, and they will have a real good time.
I've heard this before too. Yeah.
And everyone like knows the game by then as well.
Yeah, they know what they want.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
we surpassed this.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Basically, green card.
Mm-hmm. How did we get to talking about Christian sex for like an hour?
Well, that's how I'm here.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, educate me about what is a slip of paper about?
So I want to work on my vocabulary. So I wanted to have like a segment of like green is growth.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
You know, and so I wanted to have a vocab word, and then we're gonna try to say it. In the rest of the conversation.
Okay, bring it on.
Does that sound fun?
What's the word?
Well, so this is what I realized was the problem when I did this yesterday.
Yeah.
Is I don't know how to pronounce them. Some of them.
This is a problem if you read books.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, wow, I'm learning so much, and then you try and say it in a conversation. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you trying to say? That's like, I thought. You know the word posthumous. Yeah. Like it means like after death.
Okay, yeah.
But it's spelt like post-hummus. So I was being like, oh yeah, so he released the thing posthumously. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's so funny.
It was really embarrassing, yeah.
I'm sure I've had loads of those, but I can't really remember.
Yeah, it's annoying. My mum is like really smart and reads a lot. So like sometimes I'll talk to her and be like, she'll like just shame me for it.
Oh really?
Yeah, she'll just be like, wow.
Yeah, I feel like vocab is something that. Yeah. It's like something that's like, oh, that's really attractive when someone has a good vocab.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Why do we bully people who are smart when they're young? I don't get it.
I don't know, but like I had the last guy I was seeing, when he used big vocab words, I would be like, oh my god, you're so hot.
Really?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I'd be like, whoa.
What words?
There'd be like just some like arbitrary.
It's like your pussy is arbitrary. And like, say it again. That's so hot. I'm sure it means something good.
But I'd be so attracted, and then
really?
Like sometimes I feel like it would be a joke about like how like he'd like use a big word. I'm like, are you just trying to turn me on? Because I love it. Like
that is like the funniest, dorkiest. Like, speak to me in a soliloquy, you dirty goose.
Read me the dictionary and know how to use the words.
But is it like, for you, will it be like, if you don't understand the word, that's even hotter?
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot. I have a bad retention. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Retention, that's a good word.
Yeah. No, I like, it's hard for me. I can read a definition and be like, still not know.
But do you not sometimes feel like it's like pretentious when people like just use... Because sometimes I find it a turn off if people start using big words, because I'm like, you're just using big words to like hide the fact you don't know how to use them.
I think maybe with some, I think anything could be pretentious if you're ugly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I'm unattracted, to somebody,
yeah,
then yeah, you're pretentious. Okay.
But you said ugly. You didn't say you find them unattractive. You said ugly. So when fit people say words is good.
But not okay. Not
you just like people being fit.
You don't have to be too fit.
Yeah. Okay.
When you're really fit.
Yeah.
and when you're really attractive for the Americans.
Yeah.
If you're really attractive and you're using big vocab, I don't like that.
Really? That's arrogant.
You know what? I think I specifically like one person using good vocab. Anyone
Who's
else?
That?
My ex.
Oh.
No, I do like vocab.
You find I read a good word the other day. You find grandiloquence sexy.
Oh, is that okay?
Grandiloquence. I hope that's what the fucking word means. I think it's like using unnecessarily elaborate words.
Yeah.
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 Using words superfluously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Is that getting you going over there? You're getting fizzy between your legs over there.
I like that.
Is your pussy effervescenting?
You nailed it. You're nailing the sapiosexualism.
All right. Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen those people in fields.
On sapio.
I always thought that felt rude when they're like, I like intelligent people.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I guess most people do, right?
Yeah, I think most people do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like women. Like, are there any men who are like, I'm sapiosexual? No. Like, I feel like only women are
like
sapiosexual.
Like, I like really dumb hot women. And women are like, tell me more.
Yeah, like it's only women who are like, I can settle.
Do you think that's just a security thing, though? Because I always wonder if women like pretend to be dumb, right? Because they think men will like it, and then men pretend to be smart because they think women will like it, and actually most of the time women are they smart? I don't know.
No, there is this women. Well, women have nowadays. Women are more educated than men.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is a statistic.
Ah,
yeah,
like smarter, higher IQ.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know if about higher IQ, but like in academia, they're more educated.
Cool.
Do you want me to read my vocab word?
Yeah, give me a word.
Oh yeah. Now this is done. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Dilettante.
Dilettante.
Is that right?
An
amateur engaging in an activity without serious intention.
What, like
open
this
mic?
podcast?
Yes, I'll put that on the board.
Dilettante. What was it?
It's either, I imagine dilettante?
Dilettante.
That can't be true.
My name is Dilettante. Dilettante. Okay, we'll go with dilettante. Wait, I'm going to have to look this up. I can't. I'll start repeating this in my real life.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I'm sick of people
Because do you have a good retention of vocab and stuff?
No. I have terrible memory. I feel like it's got to be dilettante, right?
Dilettante, yeah.
Dilettante. Pronunciation. I mean, this is the problem with English. It could be pronounced anyway. Dilettante. That's not how I expected that to be said.
Yeah, I didn't.
Dilettante.
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 Dilettante. An amateur engaging in an activity without serious intention.
Yeah. Open micer.
Yeah.
People just playing.
Okay.
Fools just be playing.
Let's see if we can say that throughout the day. Or the...
Dilettante.
Okay. Here's another one. Boondoggle. I don't know where I got these words.
You got it from fucking Mary Poppins. Or Nigel Thornberry. That's a made up word. Boontackle. So what's a boondoggle?
Work of little or no value done merely to look busy.
Oh, boondoggle. That's like every fucking job. Every fucking job nowadays is a boondoggle.
Why are all these vocab words relating to this podcast? Oh my God, that's so weird though.
You're a right boondoggler.
I am a right boondoggler. I'm always like busy.
It's a bunch
hey
of
guys, I'm here being busy.
I'm using this word all the time. This word is fucking
one.
jokes.
Okay, now I have these little fun things.
Okay.
So basically, have you heard of the 36 questions that lead to love?
Yes.
Okay, so I like to talk about those questions on first dates, and that's probably why I feel like people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because I go straight into like,
how'd you like
if
to
your
die?
house was burning.
Oh.
What would you take? And who would you save?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll do another round.
Are you going to ask me these questions?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you one question.
Okay, so it'll be 136 in love. Is that the
that's it.
amount?
Yeah, that will be that much more connected.
Do you not worry this podcast, you're just going to fall in love with everyone who comes on the podcast?
Well, I mean, I spend a lot of time alone, so probably it is probably like...
That's sort of sad and sweet. Okay, give me this question.
This is be ready to fall in love.
Oh my God.
Okay, if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want?
Probably body. I'll just be a real dumb, fit fuck for the rest of my life.
God, I wish I was a man. I'd pick mind.
Really?
I don't know.
But if you stayed like this well into your 60s, it's not a bad life. How dumbed down? Am I like, Forrest Gump? Or am I like...
and retain either the mind or body of a... Well, so you're 30.
I'm my 30.
For the last 60 years of your life, would you want to have your mind or your body?
This body I got now.
Yeah.
See, no, I wanted... In my head, I had like Hercules' body or something
like
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm bloated, so I guess I'll take mine.
Maybe I'll take mine. It'd be nice to know what's going on. But I don't know. Maybe that's one of those ones where it's like, like I always thought being intelligent, but I didn't always think this. I've thought this recently. Being intelligent is like overrated, I think. Like, I think it makes you miserable.
Because you know more about what's going on in the world?
Yeah, and also no one understands what you're talking about. So it's just like, what a waste of time. So no one thinks you're smart. Like, people, I think people who are smart, often people are like, well, they just chat shit, or they're crazy, or they're like offensive, but it's because you just can't understand
I love how you're equating people who are offensive to people who are intelligent.
Well, they might not be.
Like, in most cases, I would say the opposite.
No, but you see, sometimes smart people get accused of like...
Yeah.
I can't think of an example, but like...
You're talking about Elon or like...
Well, I don't know. Elon's a bit of a...
I talk about Elon a lot on this podcast.
You're a big fan of Elon?
No.
I don't know anything about Elon Musk, really.
But
other than he called his child like X3 Xenon or something.
That's an interesting thing, though, that you think intelligence is overrated?
Well, yeah. It's sort of like, like
What's
that stereotype of like, it's like, it's harder to relate to people. It's like lonelier. But everyone talks about it like it's a great trait, right?
Is that why I'm lonely?
You could just be a genius. You're just a misunderstood genius. But it's like that thing, like you got that stereotype of like the nerd who gets bullied, but they're like super intelligent, but no one respects them.
Right. But bullying is just people being like, oh, I wish I was you. Right?
Mm-hmm. Or it's like you've got some improving to do. We're going to bully you till you're better. Depends on the type of bullying. Some bullying I think is functional. And some is just really evil.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What do you mean? How would you describe functional bullying?
There's some, like, sometimes I think kids like instinctively pick up on someone who's an asshole or like an actual like dickhead. Yeah. But like in their core, and then they're responding to that, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think also it's just cruelty. So, like, it depends on the person. Like, in your case, I don't think you're, like, an evil person.
Yeah, because, like, the people who were evil were, like, the cool kids in my school.
Really?
But my school was, like, so if you were to, like, go to my school, you'd be like, this is America. This is American high school. There's, like, someone had a super sweet 16.
Mm.
Like, it was the most picturesque American high school.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but it also had the football players and the cheerleaders and...
Yeah. I know. I mean, I think it depends. Like, people bully for lots of reasons and stuff. But sometimes, I don't know, because I remember thinking there were some kids who were, like, perceived to be in the cool group. And then there was, like, the outsidery sort of seen as less cool group.
Right.
But they were kind of, like... The not cool group were also assholes to the... Like, they would bitch about... They would also kind of do mean stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, they portrayed all of the cool kids as, like, assholes. But some of the cool kids were nice.
Right.
But because they hung out with... Or they were seen as, like, cool, the other kids were just, like, not nice to them. And then when they grew up, actually, some of the cool kids were just, like... You were just like, this is just a nice person who's, like, successful. And then you were just, like, bitter because you were, like... not in that group and you kind of wanted to be, and you're too immature to like voice that in a way that was like functional. Do you know what I mean? But then also that same group, you get like just the assholes who are like, I don't know, taking shit out.
Being a kid was horrible.
A topic that's too complex. Sorry,
I'm too intelligent.
I'm just so intelligent right now.
Would you just?
That was a bit of boondoggle. That was what.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh yeah.
Boondoggle, yeah. Just pointless work.
Oh wow.
All the time. Nothing of value there.
And welcome to my podcast.
Sorry. Yeah. Welcome to this. Are you gonna call it the boondoggle?
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
The boondoggle hour.
That'd be actually a good. Let's rebrand.
Hey, what? You gonna ask me another one?
I kind of like these.
Bring it.
Okay. This is another one. Name 3 things you and your partner. Oh my god.
Okay.
Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common. Oh, appear.
Okay. But we don't.
We have a lot in common though.
Yeah, I think we have similar stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We both speak Spanish.
Yeah. I was going to say comedians, but that's really dull. And that's also everyone who comes in, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I just kind of my only friends, really.
I have respect for religion. I think respect for religion's a
thing.
Respect
for religion.
I got respect for religion.
Have you ever been religious?
No, I wanted to be.
What would you have wanted to be?
I wanted to be Muslim.
Did we talk about this?
I don't know.
I wanted to convert to Islam too.
But mine wasn't really like because I wanted that religion. Mine was just like I was hanging out with guys who were Muslim and I was like, I want to be like part of the crew.
That's interesting. Islamic culture is really like fascinating and beautiful to me. And I do find Muslims so respectful and so family oriented.
Yeah.
Like
I like the practicality of a lot of stuff in the Quran. It's a lot more like here's a functional man. It's less ambiguous than like Christianity is in terms of like, you know, figure out what Jesus Jesus's perspective might have been on this. Whereas like the Quran and Islam is a lot more like, you can get divorced under these circumstances. Make sure you give the woman this much money. It's real practical advice in parts of it, which is kind of like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like some of it's outdated or whatever, but like, well, not to get like attacked by whoever, but like obviously because it's like old school, but it's there was like, you can actually see how, these are actually like quite pragmatic rules. And there is flexibility in there as well. Yeah. Like Islam's got a bit of a reputation for being, you know, inflexible, but I think that's select, countries and also interpretations rather than like what is actually said in the thing. Because like when you like go down to the nitty gritty, like their relationship with Allah, I feel like is so beautiful because it's a direct relationship. And I find like coming from being raised Catholic, you know, you had to confess your sins to a priest, and that was your like main way of having your sins be forgiven. And then I just find it to be. I read an interesting thing about confession, like. Because like the social function of confession was, which I thought was quite interesting, which apparently is quite helpful in a lot of communities. Because if it was a small community and the priest knew that like people were having affairs and stuff, he would have all these people confess, right? And then he could do a sermon next week, which is like the importance of fidelity. Fidelity. And wow. Do you know what I mean? So it like actually had this quite healthy function where it's like he's very aware of what is going on in the community, so then can, you know, preach stuff that is like, okay, well, let's try and have a workshop on this, and then everyone reflects on it, and it in theory should make the society stronger, right? Yeah. Which I thought was pretty cool. That's right, but then you get to the issue where like a community over 200 people is no longer really a community. Yeah, it gets too big to right. And but that's like a real modern problem, isn't it? Yeah, like the breakdown of you're in the biggest community ever, but that kind of you feel lonely in that. Yeah, that's like city living because it's not really a community because there's no accountability. Yeah, it's very individualistic. And people don't. No one subscribes to the same rules, which is right. Which is also kind of, I mean, it's difficult. It's but that's kind of like where sometimes I get envious of like people religious because it's the community. It's the community that I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But then also community comes with its own issues, so it's like you can never have it all perfect. Because there's also lots of shame. Like when I was Yeah, judgment.
In the height of me being really, really religious.
Yeah.
There was so much shame.
Yeah. But it's difficult in a modern setting because you're being told it's fine on one hand by like atheist society. And then you're also being told on the other hand that it's not from this religious side. So that's a conflict.
Yeah.
Like, whereas if you were in a completely isolated religious community, you probably wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
You would still have sexual feelings because there's no way of getting around that. But like, you would probably be much more, they're less conflicted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're not seeing people living.
I think you still have the conflictions within yourself.
Yeah,
like, I feel like also was my thing with religion was that everyone has their own standard of what they want to live by. And like, I think following a general basis is great.
Yeah.
But in certain things, I was like, how come I'm not having sex for what purpose?
Yeah. That's why I always love Church of England. Because it's like, that was the one King Henry VIII founded to get divorced. So it's just like such a funny, like, the whole premise of that part of Christianity is it's all a bit loosey-goosey anyway. So it's like they're the most chill sect of like Christianity ever, because it's like, okay, like we know it all got changed because Henry wanted to change it. That was how I went to school that was like Church of England.
Oh really?
Yeah, and they're pretty like.
Did they have confession?
No.
I keep on thinking about confession.
Yeah.
Because I used to have to do
something you want to get off your chest.
It used to stress me out, confession.
Yeah, I bet.
Going into the cubicle and whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But when I was I was on a retreat, and so confession was like kind of like sat like this because I was like a makeshift whatever. Like what we were doing, we didn't have we were like out away. There was one priest, Irish.
Yeah.
And I used to love Manchester United. And I used to always wear Manchester United stuff. Yeah. And so he and I used to talk about Manchester United.
Right.
And one confessional I had, like he was like, oh, what are your confessions or whatever? And I'd be like, I had something so minor, nothing. And he's like, okay, 2 Hail Marys. So what did you think about that game? And I was we were like speaking for so long, and people were like, "Oh my god, this girl has so much sins. She's been speaking to the Father for so long."
You're just gossiping about football.
We were just like, "Wow, look at that! Like, wow, Rooney is so great."
He must have been so bored. He's like, I don't want anyone else coming in being like, "Oh, I fucking thought about whatever the other day." Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah, so interesting.
You're not allowed to masturbate in Catholicism?
I think it's like, I think lots of sexual stuff is like frowned upon.
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to masturbate.
I never got the anti-masturbation thing. I understand why people were like shameful about sex, because that to me is like, back in the day, it's probably dangerous to be promiscuous.
I haven't fully read the Bible. Like I don't I know that's really bad. That's I should have said that in confession.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that it was always frowned upon, because that guy I had been seeing, he was like, he had somebody tell him that like you have to abstain from all sexual acts, so masturbation included. So he like hadn't like came in like a year or something.
That can't be good.
That
cum's got to go somewhere.
That's really not good for it can give you prostate cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
You just all cummed out.
Yeah. Well,
cum backed up with cum.
Yeah, it's meant to like come out.
Yeah. Otherwise, it goes in your blood.
But no,
it's cummy blood.
But I think it comes out eventually. Like you'll have
dream,
like
right?
wet. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have loads of wet dreams.
Really?
Yeah, it was really embarrassing. I used to have them at my friend's house as well, and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna cum everywhere. So I sleep really badly.
Do you remember
what I dream about?
What you dream about?
Yeah, I have quite repetitive dreams, but sometimes they're very rarely like actually sexual. Like they're also stressful. Like I always have one where it's like, so I have this friend who's really like, she's quite loose. Like, I find her very attractive, right?
Okay.
But like in an immoral kind of way. Like
Right.
she fucks a lot of shit up. Like she's very promiscuous in a way that I'm like, you shouldn't. Like she fucks loads of people with partners and like and seeks them out and like causes chaos and stuff, and then is like avoids responsibility for. She's like, what? I could not sleep with him. He finds me attractive. He said I was kind. Like I was like, come on, take some fucking responsibility.
That would bother me. Yeah,
and it's a validation thing and all this.
Right.
I'm like, just take ownership of your shit. I don't care if you're a piece of shit, but like, be like, I'm a piece of shit. Don't be just like, well, I couldn't not kiss him. It'd be rude. Like, but anyway, she pops up in my dreams all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's always like, we'll be kissing, and then I'm like, oh, I can't come now, because if I come now, it'll be really embarrassing. And then I just immediately come, and I wake up like, no! Like, but it's like clothes on. It's not like like it's not even got there. It's like a little peck on the cheek maybe, and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't cut. Like it's all anxiety. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And then I wake up and I'm just like, fuck.
And that's
so the feeling I've got is not like I've just come. It's like I've just disappointed a woman. This is how shameful and embarrassing. And then I actually have like cum everywhere. So I'm like, no, now my bed's like wet. And then I'm like, oh, I'm at my friend's house.
Did your friends ever find out?
I don't know. They will now. I think I told someone. I don't know. I probably told someone.
Because it must be so common, no? I mean, how
calming.
Common. No, it must be so common. Yeah, they must.
It's not calming. It's stressful. It's like I could shoot at any time.
That's
it's like having
stressful.
a gun that just goes off every now and then. You're like, I'm sorry. I just shot your sister. Like, I have no control. That was a wet dream. Sorry, I just shot your mum in the face. I was asleep.
I love in this scenario you're sleeping with the mom.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Right, some people have hot mums.
Yeah.
And sisters, you know?
Yeah. Wow. That must be so interesting. I can't imagine having that stress.
Yeah.
Do you ever get post nut syndrome?
What's that?
When you're immediately sad right after you have sex. Do you have that?
Once I cried.
Really?
Immediately. Yeah, this was one of my ex-girlfriends. I just immediately came and then just like burst into tears.
Wait, why?
I can't remember. I think it was something along the lines of like I really wanted to have sex with her, and she was like, oh, I'm not in the mood, and then she was like, okay, go on then. But like I perceived like her being like, go on then, like she didn't find me attractive. And then I was like, I was really in my head about it, and I was like, oh, she hates me, and then like as soon as I came, that all just came out.
That is the worst feeling to have, the worst mentality to go in when you're having sex.
Like, I need this.
Or like, this is like, I know this is valid. I'm looking for validation.
Yeah. Also to not get the validation.
Yes. Yeah. Cause you never do.
No. Cause like I definitely have things about, no, I think I've worked these out now and I don't have these so much, but definitely like back then when I was more immature, I definitely had like I need to feel wanted and desired and whatever, because of like attachment issues, I guess, or daddy issues, whatever it is. But yeah, so it felt like that whole scenario felt like a rejection from like the person I felt I was closest to at the time.
Yeah,
so
I had that before.
It was horrible, yeah.
I had that before.
Cried immediately.
Well, not cried out, but I felt the feeling of like I was seeing this guy and I really was just, he was everything. And he would just like, sometimes he'd like not want to have sex. Sometimes he would like, cause he was a really sexual person, but then when it came to like actually doing it, it would be like, oh, I don't want to, or I'm trying not to have sex right now, or like you know how like boxers or like athletes abstaining from sex makes them more
like aggressive, or
like it just is better for them. I guess like
I don't think that's true, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Right, there's like a lot of people think that. I don't know if there's any fact check that. I don't know. But so it was kind of like, it would be really annoying because also like on the phone he'd be really like, oh, I'm gonna like it'd be like so sexual on the phone.
Yeah.
And when I'd see him, he'd be like, meh.
Or that's annoying. So you build up all this like
so much
anticipation and then be like, nah.
Yeah. So it'd be like, and then I'd be like, come on, like, what? I don't understand. Like, whatever. Yeah. And then it was never good because we do it. And then it'd be like,
feels like an obligation.
It feels like, also, I don't know. I mean, he must have been cheating on me. So
why?
I guess because that's what would make me go in my head. Cause I'm like, wait, on the phone, you want to FaceTime and whatever, all this stuff. But when it comes to like actually doing it, it's not as
squeamish or whatever.
Yeah.
That's weird. But I don't know if he's cheating on it. Apparently people, when they cheat, they get extra doubly horny. So
oh, really?
Apparently,
because it turns them on?
Yeah. Apparently. That's what I got told. Maybe I made that up. I don't know.
Wow.
Well, but I guess it depends on the scenario though. But apparently it's common when they're like, if they're in a relationship that's gone stale and then they're getting excitement.
Right.
Because it's like the more sex you have is like the more you want it more. It's like an addictive sort of cycle because it's like you get all the hormones you release and then you're like, oh, I want more of them as you're coming down off it. Because you ever get that thing, you get like, if you don't have sex or like do anything sexual for a while, you get really, really horny and then it peters out and then you don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you're coming down off the hormone stuff.
Well, I think, yeah, I can't imagine like having power, like dominance and like power, like, because I listen to lots of things and I'm like, oh, like people are sexually liberated. And I'm like, ow. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Can't use my hands. Like, you know how hard it is.
I'm always, whenever we talk about your sex life, I'm always like, oh my God, it's so much more fucked up than I remember.
That's why it's just so much easier to be celibate. Because then people are like, oh, she believes in God.
Yeah, maybe. What? There's explanation to it and stuff.
Yeah, because otherwise people are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like nothing's ever right. Nothing's ever been like.
This sounds like psychological shit you need to sort out though. Well, or you don't have to. I don't know.
I mean,
but people's reactions to stuff so different. Because I've met like people like their response to sort of the insecurity is to get extra doubly sexual.
Yeah, I've not been that person.
Yeah.
I think because I'm always worried what they're gonna say. Well, I'm always like,
yeah, yours all feels like revolved around judgment and guilt.
Yeah,
and doing a good and disappointing people.
Yeah,
and sort of stuff.
Like one guy I was seeing who I ended up being so crazy about.
Yeah.
The first time we had sex was horrible because I was like, what do I do?
Oh, was it almost...
Where do I go? Like...
Did you use that voice?
Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, what? Like, I just went in, is it in? Ow,
Because, like, you can't relax.
No, I can't relax. Yeah. And then like when like he'd be like, relax. And I'd be like,
yeah, and that's gonna make you extra.
Is this relaxed? Is this relaxed? Am I relaxed? Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then he'd be like, no, you're not relaxed. I'm like, I am. Like, it was so bad.
Do you think it makes it worse as well because you liked him? He was a cool guy.
Yeah.
There's like extra pressure.
You know what? I didn't really like him that much at that time.
Oh.
I just wanted to like, I would think I was going through one of those phases where I'm like, what if it's, maybe it'll be good this time.
Yeah.
And
so you're trying to prove something to yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to have sex. Like, wow.
Oh, I'm so chill. I'm chill
this
sex.
Is what the cool kids
I'm
do.
chill sex girl. Ooh. Oh, don't touch me that. Ooh, okay. Ooh, this is happening. Oh.
And then I remember texting my best friend and being like, well, he'll never talk to me again. Like I was full on. I was like, he'll never call me again.
Yeah.
He'll never text me again. That's fine. I'll leave the country.
Yeah.
I'll leave the country. I'll never have to see him again. Yeah. And then he called me.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God.
Time of my life.
No, he did not say that.
I like how scared you were. You scared little rabbit.
Yeah, I'm like, ow, 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 Ow! Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. Ow! 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 No, it's great. It's so good. Yay! Wow, I love you. Ow! But I was like so impressed that he called me back, and I was like, "Oh, no, not call me back, again? Not call me back." Yeah, we did.
And it was good the next time, or not really?
The next few times, like we had to build out to it.
Yeah.
And then it got a lot better.
Yeah.
But
have you ever had a sustained period of enjoyable sex?
That would have been it. Because I went away after, and then I came back. And then after it wasn't enjoyable because I think it's because I knew he was speaking to other girls. I think because I didn't really trust him. But there was a moment, quite a few months where I was like, oh wow, I really like this guy. I trust him. And also I think the fact that I fully expected him to be a bad guy because I'm like, he got the sex. He got the very unenjoyable sex that they all want.
Yeah.
They all DM me for like, oh my God.
Hey, is this a hotline for bad sex?
Hey.
I'm looking for some uncomfortable memories.
Will you leave me unsatisfied?
Yeah, I want a really raging semi. I want a very unreliable boner, please.
I was really surprised because I thought he was a bad guy, and I was like, oh, he won't call me again because the thing that he wanted wasn't good, so there's no incentive for him to speak to me again. And then he did, and I was like, oh my God, he's the love of my life. He accepted my what
I've got in the bedroom.
Yeah,
I've got my moves. He accepted my panic attack in the corner.
Also, I might stoop. I'll do like weird things, or like things will be like a joking, not a joking moment. I'll be like, I'll do things, and I'm like,
yeah, you're like overwhelmed in the moment.
Yeah, huh? Yeah. Is this thing on? Hey guys,
like tweaking his nipples, like.
Yeah. So I think because he called me back, I was like,
don't take this in the wrong way, but I would love to see a sex tape of you, but like not for like a sexy vibe. I just want to see you like navigate your emotional struggles.
I love that so much. I'd love people who actually wanted to see a sex tape of me.
Yeah.
Then they saw the real sex tape of me and how that would ruin their sexuality.
It's like, wow, I was not prepared for that.
Yeah. It's also very like,
some people
don't look at me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, don't look at me. Like, don't look at me, but like also have sex with me.
Tell them off.
I'm like, don't look there. Don't look at my boobs. I'll also I immediately hide my body after sex, and then
after sex,
and they'll be like, I just saw you. I'm like, no, don't look at me.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah,
I
did have sex with someone who was like that.
Yeah,
once. She had a thing about her boobs or something, which is mad as well because her tits were like really nice.
Yeah,
but like. No, you also can't make someone not feel like, I don't know. That's like your thing.
Yeah,
you got to be like.
But then also, I think because it's an insecurity for me, then I feel like it's unattractive for somebody else, or like
can be. Yeah, I think
because
so.
I'm insecure about it. Then they're like, oh fuck, you have so many problems.
Maybe, yeah. But some people also like that stuff.
And that's weird.
I don't know. Yeah, well, no, but they're like, I want to like help you.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
but I think that's quite a finding, because that's what I felt like though with that guy. I was like, oh, he's willing to like give me another chance. my trial period. I'm still on probation.
Yeah. I'm really fucking my probation, quite literally. Or failing.
I didn't do that right, but I wore the skirt he wanted.
But I'm prepared to go away and learn.
Yeah. He'd send me things. Actually, he'd send me literature, like
literature.
Porn.
Oh, literature.
I read the comments.
That means poetry. I want a spunk on your face. Wow.
Yeah, and then he'd be like this, and I'd be like, I got it.
You're practicing on your own.
Yeah, practicing.
Oh, but was he a big porn guy?
Yeah.
But that's the thing as well. That's like a...
Yeah, that ruins things.
Yeah,
and I'd say that, and he'd be like...
I was a porn guy when I was like 16, 17, and then I remember my first girlfriend was like, let's learn.
Yeah, I never watched
I was like,
porn.
okay, this is much better, yeah. I think that's good. It's like, then you remain like organic.
No, because then you don't know. I'm like, what goes where?
Yeah, actually, you're right. Nowadays, you can't not watch porn because you at least need to know what might.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you must be in my urethra. I don't know, like, I don't know.
God, that scared me so much.
Yeah, that's.
I remember when I got told that girls have a separate pee hole to their vagina. And I was like, where the fuck is that? And then I was like, because I remember my brother had like VHS porn.
Oh.
That was what like, because it was like before the internet. And like we had a family computer and it was like so hard. And like our internet was so shit.
Right.
My mom doesn't like technology. So it was like so slow.
Yeah.
So like I was late to internet porn, but we had these videos that my brother had, and I used to like, I remember I found out that I was like, there's this pee hole where? And I was like, watching this like gangbang as like a kid and like pausing it. And you know when you pause VHS, it's all like scraggly. Yeah. So I'm looking at this close up of a scraggly vagina going frame by frame, pressing the pause button, being like, wait, okay, so there's this fucking pussy, there's this like, what the fuck is that thing? And she had a giant clit that I've never seen a bigger clit in my life. So I was like, this is not a normal pussy, right? So I was like, there was this huge, long, dangly, like, I don't know, witch's finger like, coming out the thing.
Wow.
And I was like, is the pee hole at the end of that like a dude's penis? Like, and then and I was like, what if I put my dick in the pee hole? And she's like, are you trying to put your dick in my pee hole? And then she'll know I'm not good at sex.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be because I'm
right.
Like
that would hurt
12.
a lot. That would really.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's weird because it just fits in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What an sex ed was not. Did you have good sex ed?
No, but I had older siblings, so I think I knew more quicker than. You know, I never got given like a chat, but I felt like I knew vaguely what was going on.
I didn't know.
Not like, you know, how to do it good.
Yeah.
My brother and sister probably told me stuff, but like, you know, I didn't know what it was.
Right.
It's a learn by doing thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like I don't know, it's like you have good sex with someone else, but that doesn't mean you're good at having sex with a different person. Like people do like different shit.
Right.
It's more like your connection, whatever.
Yeah.
I sound wise when I said that. It's like a connection, bro.
Yeah, I think, but I'd always wanted to be, like, I wish I could be that person that's like, let me just have sex with who I want to have sex with. Or like there's this girl I speak to and she's like, oh, I'm just hooking up with this guy, but it's just sex. And I'm like, what's that?
How did you do that? Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Do you think you might have that in your older years one day?
I don't know. But then I'm like, who? I should capitalize on being me now. Like I feel like I wasted so many years of college not having sex when I was at my best. And now I'm like slowly getting worse. and the marketability.
I think that's true.
I think so.
That's the way you feel.
I think I'm, you know, I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm also like I'm an almost 30-year-old with the sexual knowledge of a 16-year-old. Like it's so like it's not like yay. Let's fuck that. You know what I mean? Like it's not like. And I feel like that's why I'm very good at the beginning part of alluring people. I'm good at like being like
you're like a honey trap with no honey in it.
Yes, and it's just like a trap.
Yeah,
that's it. And I'm just there. I'm very good at getting people to think they want to have sex with me.
Do you do that deliberately?
So I used to.
What?
I used to.
Katie.
Yeah, I'd be like, well.
I'm so stupid.
Oh my God. What was that word you used?
Hello.
Wow.
That is so funny.
But then
you found that validating, right? Because they're like,
well, yeah. But then the reason I didn't move forward, I was like, oh, I'm empowered because, you know, I didn't give him what he wanted. But it was like, oh no, I don't know what to do.
I also kind of quite wanted that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wait, I just don't know.
It looks nice. I'm scared. I'm too scared to go to that.
Thank you for listening.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you so much for coming. Do you want to plug anything?
No.
Okay.
Nothing to plug.
Okay.
Or follow me on Instagram, Luke Chilton Comedian.
Okay, well, that's perfect.
Yeah,
follow Luke on Instagram.
Do that.
And thank you for listening, and have a great day. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye, you boondongles.